Welcome to Political Perspectives with the Washington Examiner. I'm Jim Antle in for Hugo Gurdon. And if you're following us on social media, please remember to click like and subscribe. I'm joined this week by Washington Examiner Chief Political Correspondent Byron York. Byron, are we on the cusp of seeing a socialist mayor elected in New York City?
I believe we are. We've had a number of polls in recent days showing Zohran Mamdani ahead in the race for mayor by anywhere from 15 to 22 points. The field obviously is fractured between the former governor, Andrew Cuomo, the Republican, Curtis Sliwa, and the current mayor, Eric Adams of New York. And even if Eric Adams were to drop out, and there have been rumors that he would, hadn't
Right.
done it yet, but there have been rumors, it wouldn't really change the dynamics of the race. So Mamdani decisively won the Democratic primary. And in New York fashion, the winner of the Democratic primary is going to be elected mayor of New York.
So some people have likened this to the various Republican primaries, particularly in 2016 involving Donald Trump, where there are all these people who imagine if just the right number of candidates were to drop out and everybody who was against the front runner came together, coalesced to one alternative, the alternative would win. Is that true in this case?
Well, it's never the truth. It's never reality. There isn't this one candidate that everybody else would vote for. If the only candidate were Andrew Cuomo, would he win? I don't think he would, actually. He's not the nominee of the Democratic Party in New York in this mayor's race. So, yeah, you're right. There is often, in multi-candidate fields, there's often this feeling that if everybody just drops out to get the target candidate, then somehow they'll win. But it just doesn't really work that way. And I should say, barring some incredible, world-shaking, totally unexpected event, something could happen to change things. But
Sure.
right now, it looks very, very solid for Mamdani.
What kind of impact would Mamdani's election have on the National Democratic Party, but also on New York City?
Yeah, well, I think the interesting thing to think about is that we just now last week had the Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, endorse Mamdani. Now we're less than 2 months away from the election, and the Democratic governor of New York has only now gotten around to endorsing the Democratic candidate for the mayor of New York City. By the way, the Democratic leader of the Senate, the U.S. Senate, Charles Schumer, and the Democratic leader of the U.S. House, Hakeem Jeffries, both of whom live in New York City, have not endorsed anybody, meaning they haven't endorsed Mamdani. Now, I think there's one factor to remember here, and I quoted this in my newsletter. The governor, Kathy Hochul, wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying why she was going to endorse Mamdani. And she said they had talked a lot of times and they didn't agree on every issue. Now, we know they don't agree on issues, and she didn't list any of those things. But she did get to what apparently was the most important thing. And I'm going to read just a little bit. She said, I needed to know the next mayor will not be someone who would surrender 1 inch to President Trump. Mr. Mamdani and I will both be fearless in confronting the president's extreme agenda with urgency, conviction, and the defiance that defines New York. So it appears that whatever you hear about, you know, rent control or grocery stores or high taxes or globalize the intifada, whatever you hear about any of that stuff
Or
about
crime?
Mamdani, or crime, what really matters is they won't give 1 inch against President Trump.
So speaking of a situation where a lot of people are talking about not giving 1 inch to President Donald Trump, there's still a lot of national furor in the wake of the assassination of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. And like a lot of other political issues, this is being defined by a lot of people through the prism of Donald Trump.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what we have seen here is a lot of conservatives, Charlie Kirk supporters and admirers, basically on the internet. This is all an internet phenomenon, undertaking a new sort of cancel culture against all those on the left who actually celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And there's been a lot of talk about free speech and the kind of things that a lot of these people were saying that were really repugnant are in fact constitutionally protected speech. But a lot of things that got people canceled several years ago on the right were also constitutionally protected free speech. So
Right.
right now, we're seeing people who are still very upset, very mad, throwing all sorts of accusations against each other. I don't know how long that's going to stay. We haven't even had Charlie Kirk's memorial service,
Right.
which is coming up this weekend in Phoenix. President Trump will be there. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the longer run. But that's what's going on right now.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Byron.
Thank you, Jim.
And thank you for joining Political Perspectives with the Washington Examiner. Again, if you're following us on social media, please remember to click like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.